3 lanes, it's just way too dangerous because she can show up at any time anywhere, and it's just so hard to get away from her.
Yeah, and that goes back to like that universal map presence I was talking about. When you play against Eve, you always have to be like careful. You always have to. You can never overextend. Otherwise, you're gonna probably pay for it. So.
Yeah. Okay. So, last couple things. Were there? Let's see. Right. Okay. So the other champion changes that were significant. Dr. Mundo's cleaver, the width got reduced, which probably was needed. It was really hard to miss cleavers.
Yeah, it wasn't too hard to hit cleavers, but I've seen it. I don't know. I never thought Dr. Mundo was really that overpowered. You just throw like Ignite on his ult, and that, there goes like half his ult.
Yeah.
But I think it was like an alright change. It's really not that significant of a change in my opinion.
There were actually 2 hits to Dr. Mundo in this patch, because there was also the Perseverance Mastery got nerfed pretty significantly. I think they cut the regen in half.
Yeah, that was really big for actually like all the top laners.
Yeah, so for Mundo, Olaf, Shyvana, definitely, like stuff like that helps a lot against them. I mean, they're still strong, but I feel like they're not going to push out other champions as much. I feel like the defense tree is a little bit better in balance now, for sure.
Yeah. That and Spirit Visage also got nerfed. I think that was in 4.1.
Yeah, that was last patch. Like they're kind of doing the baby steps thing where they slowly work towards an ideal balance state. Because Spirit Visage is still strong, and most of the time people are still building it on tanks. But it's not like Spirit Visage is GG. Like, oh, I finished my Visage. You can't damage me anymore, and I have 20% CDR.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. That was good. So tanks definitely getting nerfed a lot. Hopefully we'll see more damage in the top lane. We're already kind of seeing that. We've seen Yasuo top lane. There was an Aatrox top lane in OGN recently. Rumble's coming back for sure. So yeah, good. Moving in the right direction. Ashe, I like personally this change probably doesn't affect competitive play, but the Ashe change was pretty cool, which is they made Hawkshot's cooldown scale per level. And then they made the bonus gold rank give 3 gold per minion kill at all ranks, which is actually really awesome. Because what I used to like to do is I would just max Hawkshot first on Ashe and rush an Avarice Blade, and I'd have like 20,000 or like 2,000 more gold than the other carry at 20 minutes, and it was crazy. So now you can just take 1 rank of Hawkshot and it's all good. So yeah, that's a cool change.
Yeah, I think Ashe really needed the buff too, just because the current meta is kind of, you get all these really strong gap closers like Kha'Zix and Shyvana and people that just kind of wreck Ashe,
Yeah, I feel like
and
Varus
doesn't have really any mobility or any way
kind of fills the same space as Ashe too, and she's a little better, or he's a little better in lane.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. Kayle, actually, this was another relatively significant change. They actually removed the mana cost on her ult, and they made her Q AP ratio lower. So that basically what they wanted to do, I think, is make it so that she can't just like be this ridiculous damage source in the late game who is like unstoppable. And I think they want to actually encourage people to use her W. They made it scale better, or they made it scale with, or her movement speed scale with ability power. So when you're getting ability power, that gets really strong. And then they also increase the heal ratio. So it seems like they want to encourage people to use her W by removing the mana cost on her ultimate, and then buffing it a little bit, and then so they're kind of moving towards more of a utility Kayle as opposed to, oh, I got Lichbane, now I win.
Yeah, pretty much. I was just gonna say, once you get Lichbane,
and she's
go around 2-shotting people as Kayle before, so
yeah, she's still really strong because she fits into this like really wave clear oriented metagame, and it's hard to, like, one of the big counters to this siege wave clear strategy is to run a pick composition, which you can't do against like Lulu and Kayle because of her ultimate, but they're kind of trying to more accentuate their strengths into things that are productive rather than just like, oh, I get to clear the wave instantly, I win, or like, oh, I get to kill your tank because I'm Kayle.
Yeah,
like,
I'm Kayle, so I can kill anybody I want.
Okay, so yeah, then there was the Riven change, and actually we're taking a lot of time on these patch notes, so we're probably gonna skip the PvE patch notes, which we were originally going to talk about, unless you want to go over them. That's up to you.
The only thing I wanted to mention about the PvE is that Teemo is getting nerfed, and I'm really sad because I really like Teemo.
Yeah, so I mean, we can look over those and see if anybody has any questions to ask about stuff on the PvE. We can go over that. But okay, so Riven, I actually like this change. It's probably kind of a buff, but they cut her base health regen in half, but then they increased her shield. So this is kind of more of an extension of a change that they made last patch, which was they made her shield duration shorter, so that, you know, she actually has to be smart about timing her shield. But it seems like these are mostly nerfs to Riven mid. They don't want her to just be able to play against casters and all in on them all the time. So they're making poke a lot, like stick to her a lot more. And then of course in the top lane she'll also be weak to some of the mage top laners that like Rumble, Lissandra, who's not quite as popular, but things like that. So definitely Riven getting nerfed. She's still going to be strong. It's just they want her to actually have to snowball to win the game.
Yeah, I think it was a good change overall. I think it helped her, and I think she kind of needed it because she lost a lot of her early game strength in 4.1, and so she kind of needed something to, you know, she needed like some strong.
Yeah, it's changes moving in a good direction for sure. And then of course the Rumble change, super important. His flame spitter doesn't spit meatballs anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so bug fixes on some things, and small changes, and actually they fixed a bug that they had with the turret changes, which was, I don't know if it was a bug or if they're just calling it a bug because it was such a bad idea, because this was actually in the patch notes that the damage reduction to mid and top tower lasted all game. And apparently, it was supposed to only last for the first 8 minutes of the game, but they didn't say that in the patch notes, so they're calling it a bug that they're fixing, but I have a feeling it was just a mistake that they're fixing. So yeah, and then there's a Twisted Tree Line change for Kha'Zix, which, yay, Twisted Tree Line. Anyway, okay, so let's go over some of the questions that we saw in chat. So first of all, Gareen asked, what bans do you think are viable right now? And then Baby Girl Shiloh added, is Shen worth banning? So personally, my opinion is Shen is not worth banning. His global ultimate is really powerful, but it's and I actually talked about this on my other show, Play Like the Pros. Teleport is this really like binary spell. Either it does something really awesome or it just sucks, because you didn't get like the perfect teleport timing and it worked out awesome. But like Shen, his global ultimate is really powerful if you can make it work, but if you can't, it's just I didn't like, even when Shen was really popular, I didn't like him because he has a weak lane phase. He doesn't push that quickly, so you know, as a split pusher, you need to be able to actually shove up to the tower to put any pressure on and like do anything. And I feel like Shen, at least in the current metagame where there are a lot better split pushers with more wave clear, like Shyvana and Mundo and even like Yasuo, like I don't like Shen at all personally, but you know, his ultimate is still powerful, so like we've seen Fnatic use him really successfully. It just comes down to how you use him. I feel like he's good but not ban worthy, so I'll throw it over to Zealot to see what he thinks about Shen and you know, any other. Well, let's focus on Shen right now.
Yeah, well, like, first of all, just Shen in general, like, he's not that big of a threat. There are a lot of top laners that just kind of outclass him now. Like, yeah, a well-placed Shen ult can definitely turn around, like, little scrimmages, level, like, 6, 7, you know? But at the same time, you have other champions that do a lot more damage, that can have a lot more influence in both team fights and the laning phase. Like, you have Malphite with Teleport, which essentially can do the same thing as Shen, except for his ultimate is way better in like, actual 5v5 team fighting. And you got split pushers that outclass him, like Yasuo now, Tryndamere, and a lot better split pushers, just in general. So, and Shen's damage output isn't enough to make him like really that scary in a team fight. Like when I play against a Shen, it's not like, oh my gosh, I can't. Like I'm just gonna not be able to 5v5 team fight because they have Shen. No, like that's like Shyvana, Dr. Mundo now. Like Shen just really doesn't have the presence in team fights to really be ban worthy at least. So
yeah. And then like our let's see. What other bans do you think? Like what bans do you think are required right now?
So the bans that I'm currently doing, like the ones that I would really recommend at least right now is like Kha'Zix, Kassadin, definitely Kassadin, always Kassadin until they do something with him. So Kha'Zix, Kassadin, Yasuo. I usually go. Sometimes I'll go Draven, but you probably don't have to worry about Draven in general.
I feel like Draven's just really snowbally, but I don't worry about him in silver generally.
Yeah. A good Draven is ban worthy, but
yeah, like did you see this week? I think that was Wednesday. Lactey's Draven. Like, okay, I'm gonna go to YouTube. Lactey Draven. Oh my god! Was that
the game that like the Draven got like 24,000 gold and like?
He was. Hold on. I'm playing it on YouTube right now. Like, this game was ridiculous. Lactey is a freaking god. Okay, so first of all, let's not watch this at 360p. Oh, the quality is really bad. I guess somebody recorded it bad quality. Let's find a better one. Okay, yeah, Lactey's Draven. Alright, so actually this is a link to the video so you can watch it too. Okay, so first of all, this level 1 team fight was hilarious. It was a 5v5 at level 1. I think there were like 5 kills before the minions spawned. Oh wait, you guys can't see that if I go full screen, sorry. So, how many, I think Lactey picked up quite a few kills at this level 1. I think 2. No, he picked up 1 and 1 assist. So that was like crazy. Okay, so let's like go forward to this. There's another kill. Another victim. Some of his mechanics in these fights. Okay, there's another kill. Another kill. So he's getting pretty fed. Actually, wait, oh, was that the one that went, like, under the... Okay, yeah, mechanically, this play was ridiculous. So, okay, Thresh gets grabbed under the tower. He throws his lantern. Lactey grabs the lantern and goes under tower to join Thresh in this fight. So they, like, start going ham on Caitlyn. The stand-aside actually knocks Caitlyn into Thresh's box. So Lactey gets exhausted under the tower. He just keeps like throwing his axes at Caitlyn. He throws his ultimate on Caitlyn, manages to get both Caitlyn and Blitz. The axe kills Caitlyn, and then they finish off Blitz too. This is after Thresh got grabbed onto the tower, and Lactey grabbed the lantern to join him under the tower. Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like Draven. You get like 1 or 2 kills on Draven, and he's just ridiculous, which is sometimes why I like to ban him. Especially when I know that there might be a Draven main on the other team, just because I kind of know everybody that I queue against. Yeah. Okay. So now Draven's fed, and they start like sending him to split push like by himself. He gets a kill on Caitlyn under the tower. So yeah, that's like pretty good, right? So let's fast forward a little bit and watch what he starts doing. So now, he's finished the tier 2 tower, he's at the tier 3 tower. He tower dives Blitzcrank while, like, after Caitlyn shows up, kills Caitlyn, which, by the way, you should, next time they show the items, you should look at his build, because it's ridiculous. Oh, and meanwhile, his team's at Baron, no big deal. Okay, like, his build was really crazy. He built, I think, a Youmuu's Ghost Blade and a Trinity Force.
Yeah, and then so he rushed Bloodthirster, then he got Brutalizer, then he got Sheen, then he finished his Yomus, then he finished his Trinity Force, and then he built a Hex Drinker. Like, I mean, it makes sense. It's like